Welcome back to Primetime News.
And a special welcome once again to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com.
Up first this evening, there's a 61% reduction in rapes across the island so far this year. But still, too many Jamaicans have to stand in court fighting for justice after being violated.
And it's a belief held by many that female jurors are more likely to empathize with rape victims in trials.
But the Director of Public Prosecutions, while speaking at the Caribbean Trafficking in Persons Forum in St. James, says otherwise.
Ramada Lyons has our story.
Rape is not just a crime, it's a growing crisis that continues to scar victims and shake communities island-wide. And even more disturbing, some victims are minors, and the gruesome events often end with them being killed. The frequent cases signal a troubling trend. The Director of Public Prosecutions, Paula Llewellyn, says it's a plague diminishing Jamaica's rich culture, particularly because of this.
When it comes to sexual matters, there tends to be an undercurrent of it's just a little sex. After that, I know nothing.
One might assume that having women on the jury would bring female victims one step closer to justice. But the DPP says that's not usually the case.
Female jurors tend to be harder. Mrs. Gordon Harrison can bear that out. And Mrs. Johnson Spence. Female jurors tend to be harder on female victims and complainants than the male jurors.
So in pursuit of justice, prosecutors are forced to pivot.
So it's an experienced and astute prosecutor who tries to, when you are picking the jurors before they are challenged, to get more men on any matter that even has the slightest sexual overtone. That again is something that career prosecutors would know.
From January 1 to July 26, 2025, there were 185 reports of rape across the island. For the same period in 2024, there were 246 reports. St. Catharines South had the most reports for both periods, 25 and 14 respectively. Ms. Llewellyn says when the fight against the scourge really began locally with legislative backing,
you had to have outstanding transformational leadership. And luckily, we had it in the police, at the Ministry of Justice, and certainly at the office of the DPP. So, and of course, ultimately, we now have a rapporteur.
Last year, the Investigations of Sexual Offences and Child Abuse (SISOCA) said officers were dealing with too many cases of early initiation of sexual acts and abuse among children. It said children aged 8 to 12 were being taken in for care and protection after they were sexually abused. Ramada Lyons, TVJ News.